So you've managed to find us and wondering what we're all about. Well, this is the Waffle Hour on Waffle Wednesdays with me, Bernard and John. We're best mates for about 20 years and we waffle on about all kinds of subjects. Sheep, gin, New Year's resolutions and everything in between. So make sure you come along every Wednesday morning, 7:02 a.m. We'll help you get through your hump day. Hey everybody, welcome back to the John Bernard Waffle Hour on Waffle Wednesdays. You're very welcome back to episode 3. This evening's subject, well, we're going to have to kind of delay episode 3, well, the official episode 3 anyway, because John is not with me this evening. John is MIA. Unfortunately, he has a very mature job and he was busy adulting this evening. So he didn't get a working time and he's heading off to London on work tomorrow. So we decided, well, I took the executive decision that I would try to do the podcast on my own. Now, we'll see how this goes. But I thought it was more important kind of to be consistent in getting them out on Wednesdays, because consistency is key in many of life's tasks. So we want to keep that going and keep it so people can keep listening and things like that, because you miss a week suddenly in podcast land and in the business of podcasts, you'll be forgotten about the next Wednesday and people mightn't come back. So so no John this evening, and we'll see. So just tell you what we had planned for this evening. We were going to talk about kind of our dads, things, basic kind of things you learn off your dad, or like dad things that you get taught. And do we know that because they taught us, or would we be able to figure out by then? And also, kids these days, are they going to be learning things after that, or are they just going to Google what they want to know? So that will be now next Wednesday. So that's going to be episode 4. For this evening, try and keep you company maybe for the next maybe half an hour. It could be the waffle 30 minutes. We'll see. Just touch on a few people who have got in contact. It's always nice to get the feedback and people touching base over the first 2 episodes. So Charlene was in touch with us. She obviously from Trim as well, and was kind of touch base over the first episode, and kind of us talking about Trim and the X cars that we had. And she was really liked it now, and just said she passed that on. So she's one of our Canadian listeners, and she also gives a tip off that maybe Colin Doyle might be our Tel Aviv listener. So he could be out over there. If you are, sure, you can always drop us a message and let us know if you're still listening past episode 1. Also, Paddy Dempsey got in touch. He had passed the podcast on to Gary. And if you remember listening from episode 1, Gary was the man who brought the tree home from Bucks in the back of the van. So just a couple of mentions there for people who got in touch with us. Hopefully you got all the names and locations right there, but I think they are. Now, what are we going to talk about today? Well, as I said, the subject about dads is really kind of for next week. That'll be episode 4. So for this evening, one of the things I might be able to waffle on about will be kind of hotels I've been to, and kind of what standard there were and what you look for in hotels, because we all have certain things, I suppose, we complain about, certain standards that we like, and also it depends on what you're going. I mean, if you're going away for a lad's night or girls' night, that kind of standard hotel mightn't be the same if you're going away for maybe business or as a couple or whatever, But I suppose there's a certain few key things that you always look for in hotels, and if you're ever on bookings.com, you can always look into the reviews and what people think, and some of them do big ass, but I always like when the managers and things like that kind of message back and kind of get really defensive about their hotel, which is fair enough, because some people kind of they do complain about kind of stupid things. So one of the things I did see on bookings was they complained because their this hotel anyway, this person had complained because their hotel room was too far away from the reception desk, and they had ordered a taxi, and by the time they got down to the front door of the hotel, the taxi had left. Now, to be fair, I'm not sure what the fitness level of this resident was, or this customer was, but I don't know. I was at this hotel. I ended up going anyway because I didn't think the distance to the reception was a legitimate complaint to put me off going to it. But it was quite a big hotel. It was 4 stories high and it was quite long as well. So if you've ever been in Edinburgh, it's the Leonardo Hotel in Edinburgh. And yeah, I mean the corridor is long, but she's like it shouldn't take that long to get down all the same. And it's not like there was no lift. There was a lift there. Unfortunately though, when I do go with Sarah, I don't get to use the lift, and we have to use the stairs. One exception of that was when we went to New York and we were on the 17th floor. And let me tell you, I wasn't going to scale 17 floors 3 or 4 times a day, so we managed to use the lift on the very rare occasion. Although, where that turned into our favour, I guess, was when we got the upgrade in Druids Glen, because Sarah had her knee at the time, so the stairs wasn't really great and she wasn't going to lift, so we got a fancier room on the first level, which was great, so less stairs to go up. Speaking of Druids Glen though, that is probably by far the best breakfast spread, I guess, I had in any hotel. I think, just thinking of now, if you ever been to Druids Glen, fantastic hotel. It's on a golf course, nice walk around the golf course. In that we had a suite, and we had like a toilet in the bathroom, but we also had like a separate toilet. So if you're going on what makes certain rooms or certain hotels a higher standard, I guess having a toilet and a toilet in the bathroom probably is one of those things that really differentiates rooms, I guess. But that was like, I think it was like a junior suite or whatever. Actually, like we had a kitchen as well and a sitting room. It was mad, so it was. And you had one of these little things in the room, actually. These little putting machines and a little putter, and obviously a golf ball. And when it goes in, like, it shoots the ball back out. And to this day, with all the hotels that I've been in, even before, so this was, I think maybe 2019, no, 2018 was in Druids Glen. I have never seen one of these things in any other hotel room as an extra little thing. But yeah, that was a really nice hotel. And like, I think one of the things you look for in a breakfast buffet in hotels is, obviously, to me anyway, would be kind of the selection. So, you always want like your 4 or 5 cereals. Look, I eat porridge the whole time when I'm at home, so porridge, when you're on holidays, you're not looking for porridge, like. But you kind of have to go up, you get your cereal first, and then maybe go down and get your orange juice and go back down, so like the orange juice. And then when you have that done, then it's up to like the hot breakfast, and then you get your pastries and maybe some yogurts and obviously tea and stuff like that. But like, it's definitely like you go someplace and like they've like just like cornflakes and like all bran. Who eats all bran? Come on now. And I wouldn't mind the only reason I kind of eat cornflakes is like I like to get the value for money. So you always have this thing that if you eat as much as you can for the breakfast, you're like pulling some of your money back that you've paid for the hotel room. This is probably not the case whatsoever, because obviously if most hotel rooms are probably over €100 per night, like, unless you're in I think every decent hotel, you wouldn't get a decent hotel for under €100 a night, I don't think. Not that I found anyway. But yeah, so you're never going to really eat that much for your breakfast in one sitting, unless you shove a lot of croissants into your pockets. But yeah, that definitely really nice breakfast there. But you see, with COVID, I think a lot of this buffet breakfast has gone out the window. And then when someone has to serve you, you don't want to be constantly going up either. That definitely put me off recently. Like, we were in the Heritage, very nice hotel as well. Nice breakfast. But the thing, what they done now was, it was like afternoon tea. So they brought down, those 3-tier plates with selections of pastries and yogurts and stuff on it, and they took the order. But one of the highlights for the breakfast in Heritage is you can get waffles and pancakes. So it's not waffles or pancakes; it's waffles and pancakes, which I've never seen that. Usually, like, in some places, they don't even have pancakes. Okay, but I'm on holidays, I want pancakes for my breakfast. So you get waffles and pancakes, which is great. Then when we were in Lyra, was it? In Kilkenny, you had to go up to them, and they served you the breakfast. And like, oh, you don't want to be constantly going up. Even though if you're picking it yourself, you probably would have went back up for something. Then you feel under pressure to try and get like all you can the first time round because you don't want to be going back up again. Um, we're in Tralee quite recently, actually, in Ballygary House. You had to go up and someone was serving you the pastries and the cereal. Oh my god! And she's turning the cereal in, and you're just thinking, yeah, just keep going there, keep going. Oh no, that's all the cereal I'm going to get. And she's like, well, in fairness, it's everywhere, right? So it's these little bowls you get. Obviously, at home you have your full size bowl, and you can fill that. But sometimes it's not. It's like those little variety packs of cereal you get, and like there's not much cereal in them. Like unless you're, of course, your kid, it's probably plenty. You probably fill your belly or whatever. But as an adult, definitely not enough cereal in those. No, and you just can't be going up to. Well, some people do. I just didn't feel like I want to be going up, so you kind of alternate who goes up each time. But I like a nice selection of juices, and actually, in a few places you have smoothies as well. So I like this amount of food. I would not eat this. Like basically, when I'm at home, breakfast is porridge and honey, and that's it. Get that into you in the morning, crack on. But obviously, you're on holidays. You're like you might have heard in one of the other podcasts. I don't drink, so when I go on holidays, it's kind of all about the breakfast. That is where most of my enjoyment comes. Because it's the food that you go for, whether it's going out for dinner or it's your breakfast. Because as I say, you don't eat like this at home, and plus this stuff is never ready for you at home, so you can order what you want. Yeah, so like I'm kind of gone off. I used to always get like the full fry and stuff. Slightly gone off that recently in the last year. It's just like because if you have pancakes, why wouldn't you want pancakes for your breakfast? That's ridiculous. Speaking though of that, when we were in New York, so what was the hotel called? Oh, the Belvedere, the Belvedere Hotel maybe. I just can't remember the exact name of it. Fantastic hotel, really well located as well. Now it's kind of your mid-range hotel. It's probably a really old hotel anyway. But I mean, the room really, when you go to these places, the room is important. I suppose the room is more important if you're only going for a night, because you kind of want a fancy room. You're not doing it. But if you're going to like New York or kind of Rome, the room becomes less important because you're obviously going out and you want to see the sights and things like that. Where in Ireland, when you're going maybe for a night away or even 2 nights away, you'd probably spend slightly longer in the room because you might be out driving during the day or whatever and go and see a few things. But you're probably in the room kind of more often. But in the Belvedere, I think the first morning we went and we were looking for an IHOP for breakfast because it's not like it's not bed and breakfast or whatever like in New York. Well, not in the place we were anyway. And we went to IHOP, and then I think was it that first day we went back. I seen like a little sign saying, "Oh, like the coffee shop was down to the left." I said, "Oh, there's a coffee shop in the hotel." And we just kind of walked down and we looked at the sign that says like, "Oh, all you can eat breakfast for $20." I said, "Look, like you don't want to be wasting the first few hours of the morning going to try and find somewhere to eat for breakfast. You want to get your breakfast in, get going, get seeing the sights and things like that." So I said, "Look at your $20. I'm sure we'll eat $20 worth. And most places you're going to go for breakfast in New York is probably going to be $20 anyway." So we said, "Sure, we'll do that the next morning." Next morning we came down and we went in, and the person was there, at the little stand or whatever, and says, "Oh yeah, like work away or whatever. All the stuff is over there. What room number are you in?" Cross the room number off or whatever. So they never ask for money or whatever. Sure, we'll have the breakfast to probably get us on the way out or whatever. So and you walking over on the way out, and your man is like, "Oh, have a nice day, whatever." Oh, okay. Well, maybe it's added to the room or whatever. So we went down and we had like the breakfast for the 4 mornings, pancakes, and syrup. But my God, actually, everything had syrup on it. Oh my God. So them yolks you have for dining or whatever. Them big silver things, and you open up the lid and the food's in them. I don't know the correct catering term for them, but them things. That like there was spud cubes in one, and then they called them sausages, but they were like burgers. they were in the shape of a burger, but they were calling them sausages, and there was bacon. And like, there was maple syrup. Well, I don't know if maple syrup, but there was syrup on everything. Now, syrup on pancakes is fine. Syrup on bacon, if the bacon is with pancakes, that's also fine. But why would you put syrup on potato cubes? That's that's. I couldn't get it. But at the pancakes for the 4 mornings, so we're saying, oh look, he's taking a room number every morning. More than likely, it's just going to be added to the bill on the way out. And as I said, it was only $20 for all you can eat each. So, and you're going to pay that anyway when you go probably to any place for breakfast, because we only actually went out for breakfast one morning. So anyway, on the last day, they said, look, right, we'll go down, and he's going through the bill, and he said, oh yeah, we'll just settle up now, whatever. And there's actually one thing about the Wi-Fi, and he kind of winked, because I think it's a loose charge for Wi-Fi. Obviously, like maybe a couple of years ago, you'd always charge for Wi-Fi, but now I think everywhere it's free Wi-Fi. You might have to get a code to log into it or whatever, but most places, I haven't paid for Wi-Fi in a long time anyway. And he said, oh look, that's alright, and yeah, there's nothing else there on the bill or whatever. That's all done up, and I hope you had a lovely stay and things like that. And I said, well, I'm not one to, look at give Thurston them out. If he's not going to look for the money, I'm not going to pay. And we never paid for the 4 mornings breakfast. And we went through Pádraig Keogh. So, if you're looking for anyone to sort out a holiday for you, maybe next year or whatever, he's a good man. He picks nice holidays, or picks nice hotels. He sorted us out from New York and Rome, and like the hotel's a far better location, far better value than anything I would have been able to find anyway. But when we went to book Rome, then I was talking to him and I told him that story, and he's like, no, like the breakfast wasn't included or anything. So like we were basically after getting like €80 worth of breakfast between us, like, so 80 me and 80 Sarah for free. And we'll probably never go back to that hotel again, because their pictures are probably up on the wall. But yeah, didn't really eat pancakes much after coming back from there, to be fair. The syrup, man, oh god, everywhere. But yeah, that's also a nice hotel, located really nice. Is it like, I can't remember what street it was, but it was close to oh god, Hell's Kitchen, yeah, close to that kind of area, and it was only like 10 minutes walk from Times Square, and maybe 20-minute walk was it to Central Park. So it was really well located, and a really nice hotel too, clean, kind of old style, but still very clean. So basically, like, I don't mind places being kind of old, or model. So we went to Kennedy Castle, and Loch S Castle. So like, they're castles, so they're obviously an older place, like, which is fine, and as long as they're clean and tidy and things like that, and some of them are kind of quirky, like especially the castles you go to, and the way they lay it out and things like that. But then if you're in a place that's kind of more kind of run down old, rather than like model to be old, if you get me, like, you don't want to be in some place like that. And I've been to a couple of places. Well, I suppose one, you can't say much about, like a hostel, right? So I've been staying in a couple of hostels, one in Germany, one in Liverpool, and one in Kilkenny. Actually, for J-Dog Stag, Johnny Stag, we went there, and that was a hostel, and that was fine. It also, if memory serves me correctly, it had unisex bathrooms and change rooms, which I was a little bit surprised about. I remember being in there with, who was in? Was it could have been Kieran possibly? And we were like getting ready to go out and we were brushing teeth. And next minute, like, 2 ladies walked out of the cubicles, and we're like looking at each other. We were thinking, oh shit, we're in the wrong change room. And then of course we looked at the door on the way out and had like one of those half men and half ladies like put together. So yeah, apparently it was unisex, but the mattress was so thin on those bunk beds. But then again, you're going on a stag. Are you really looking for somewhere comfortable to sleep? As long as you have a place to sleep, that's the main thing. And then with Nikki in, what's the hostel in Liverpool called? God, name's gone from us. The Hatters hostel. That was rough. So we stayed in a room with like 4 bunk beds, but there was only 2 of us. So each night we had someone else in with us. Like, the only thing was nice about that was that it had like an ensuite, if you could call it. Basic now, and like they put the heating on like around like 11 or 12 o'clock, and we got back in, the room was like a sauna, and the windows don't open. Like, we couldn't open the window. Like, it was mad. But then again, I think we were there for about 2 days. Was it 2 days? Oh, I can't remember. 2 or 3 days anyway. And we kind of survived on Subway because we were meant to be going over and staying with one of our friends who was meant to move to Liverpool. And then she didn't move to Liverpool. But we still went. And because we had to pay for accommodation, which we didn't think we were going to have to pay, the budget was very, very small for food. So I think like we ate numerous Subways. Oh, it was a rough feeling coming back, I tell you that. And the only other hostel story I can remember is one in Germany where like the walls were carpet. So you had carpet on the floor and you could carpet on the walls. I'm not sure why people put carpet on the walls, but it was carpeted. Like the same carpet as on the ground was on the walls. So I don't know whether that was saving money because you didn't have to paint, but you can only imagine like, I don't know, things that got splashed and liquid on that wall and got soaked into that carpet. It wasn't nice anyway. But they're probably some of the worst places actually I stayed. But going back to bookings.com and reviews and things, like I remember reading one that he complained because the people in the room next to him were banging the door loudly. But I feel that's unfair in the hotel because that is not the hotel's fault. If someone can't close the door quietly, it's not really the hotel's fault. So you mark them down on that, which is a little bit unfair because that puts all the reviews in the standard or the stars or whatever kind of a little bit wrong ways on the reviews on bookings, which is a little bit mean. Another place I was that was a little bit disappointing. Look at it. I don't want to be too harsh on anything because you don't want to get sued. This is just my opinions of hotels, and I think as long as you don't, it's like nothing's illegal or you're not accusing anybody of anything. So I think it's going to be all right to like give an honest review or at least an opinion on places. Was the Falls Hotel in Ennistimon. Like the staff were great. We had a great burger in the restaurant, although the service was very slow. And they put us back up in like the corner of the place, and we seemed to have been forgotten about. And then when we eventually got the food, now it was nice. But I suppose like the room was still clean and tidy. Maybe it's just a style thing that it was kind of like random furniture, like these old brown wardrobes and the toilets, like the toilet, the sink, and the bath matched in this like real lime green, maybe dark green, and the back of the toilet was like timber. So it just looked like a little bit 80s, and obviously it wasn't the 80s when I was there. But look, that's maybe just a decoration or a style thing. As I said, some of the staff were really nice, although a bit slow. But that burger that we did get, that was very nice in the bar. Breakfast was just a little bit standard. But then some people, might have everything they want. Maybe I just have real high standards for breakfast because you're paying the money for the hotel, you're on holidays, and you kind of want to feel like you got really good value for money. Because I suppose the room is the room. Well, if it has a nice TV, what I've liked recently is the smart TVs, because the worst thing, like, just I suppose one of the perks I like on a holiday is because I'm not a person who lie at home in bed watching TV, because I don't have TV in my room, and I never had in any room I've been in. So that's kind of one of the things I like doing on holidays, is like lying in bed and just watching TV. So some TVs you go to, or places you go to, the TVs, like they're like really old, or they'll have like 3 or 4 channels. But the new smart TVs, we were in the Wyatt in Westport. Now that's a nice hotel too, and we got a really nice room. I think it might have been done up in last week because it seemed very like fresh in the room. Maybe done up, maybe it's an extension, I'm not sure. But that had a smart TV, and you can log into Netflix on it, and I think that's a really good thing. So I think that's one of the key points now. I think I'm going to look for in places too, is to make sure the TV is smart, a smart TV. You can log into Netflix. Just a little bit of a bonus thing. Now, where was I else recently? Maybe stories. We were in the Marriott in Letterkenny. What's it called, the Marriott? Yeah, we were actually there twice, and because like we went there when we went to the most northern point. I always get confused. Is Mizenhead in Donegal or is Malinhead in Donegal? Well, whichever one. I said the Marriott. It's the Radisson. Radisson in Letterkenny, sorry. And so we stayed there when we went to Misen slash Mallinhead. Not sure which one it was. And really nice. And when we went back to Donegal again, because where were we going the second time? Oh God, I'm not actually sure. But we ended up staying there again, and once again, not their fault. So I'm not marking down. Apparently Sarah said it's the best wing she ever had. Well, top 5 anyway. I think it's now third. It got bumped down a couple of places recently, but it was number 1 in our wings chart there for just nearly a year or so, nearly 18 months maybe. But just a little thing. So I don't know whether there's a big car scene or a big scene of people that just take things from cars that don't belong to them. So parked in the car park of the Radisson in Letterkenny, that my number plate lights got stolen. Number plate lights, like who robs number plate lights? So we were checking out on the morning and got into the car, put the luggage in or whatever. Got into the car and went to start on and the little light, like, bing, it's your bulb missing. It's a number plate bulb. It's like, oh, maybe it's just loose from shutting the boot or whatever. So I said, sure, I'll go check it. And I said, maybe if I give it a tap, it'll come back on or whatever. So I got out, went to give it a tap, and my finger just went in. I was like, oh, what's going on? So I got down on my knees, looked back up on top of my number plate, and the 2 bulbs are gone, or 2 lights are gone, like the whole unit is gone. Thinking, what? Someone is after robbing my number plate lights. Now, of course, they were LED ones, so they were fancy, and I couldn't get them anywhere. Couldn't get them in the motor factors. Couldn't buy replacement ones, like cheap versions online. I had to go to Volkswagen, €82 for 2 lights. Couldn't believe it. But as is all the genuine parts, they're always that little bit dear anyway. Couldn't find them anywhere else. But the only thing I'll say about them was they were I don't want to call them sound. Sound is the wrong word. And nice is the wrong word as well. But instead of getting the lights and just cutting the wire, they actually disconnected them. So at least when I went to get the new lights, all I had to do was like plug them in and pop them in, and they fired ahead. They worked away. So at least that was something that they left a connection on them, that they just didn't snip the wires and take the lights. Of course, that wasn't the Radisson's fault at all, and I wasn't going to say anything, but kind of Sarah convinced me to go back in just in case it was some kind of mini crime spree and they needed to add to the dossier of things that got stolen. Maybe if only 2 cars was taken, it wasn't a crime spree, but I went back in and made it 3. That might be a crime spree or something. So might be a detective rather than a guard, maybe, I don't know. But look, I wasn't expecting them to do anything anyway, because look, it's not their fault. In fairness, the manager, what was his name? I can't remember, but he did ring us a couple of days later and said, look, they looked at the camera, a few cars got done with small little things being taken off them. And do you know what someone actually took was, that little fin, when instead of you have like the aerial on your car, you have that little fin. Somebody like lobbed that off one of the cars as well. Mad altogether. And but he said that they were well covered up, they had something over the face and they had the hoods up and they couldn't really tell who they were, but they passed on to the guards anyway. But it's amazing what things people rob. I would have never thought of all the things that you could rob in the car. Like you break in and you take things from it, and do people rob car stereos anymore? I'm not too sure on that, but because they're kind of all built in now, aren't they? I never thought number plate lights would be the ones that somebody would go to rob. Bad, really, isn't it? But anyway, yeah. So that was the story from going to the Radisson. Very few places I've gone back twice, to be fair. But yeah, just the Radisson seemed to be the nicest one in Letterkenny. Oh, sorry, excuse me. Now, yeah. So I think that's one of the very few hotels that I've revisited, because anytime you go, you want to go kind of to a different place and things like that. I've been in Westport twice and stayed in the Wyatt, which is on the square. It's the yellow building. Really nice food, nice breakfast as well, of course. Yeah, like that place. No pancakes though, as far as I remember. Room was nice. Staff was really nice. Now we brought our bikes and we done the Westport to Ackle Greenway and back 96 kilometres in the one day. Didn't think I was going to manage that, but I'd say just one tip, I suppose, even though this isn't hotel related, but if you're going to go do something like that, like a Greenway or whatever, practice first, get used to a bike, and if you have your own bike, bring your own bike, Because some of the standard of bikes that they were renting out, no, I definitely wouldn't have made it on one of those rental bikes anyway. But bring your own bike. Got a nice bike rack for the back of the Golf, Sarah's Golf, and got that in Halfords. And it was really good with straps in the bikes. Bike's nice and safe, and it never really moved. But the only thing is, when you have a bike rack in the back of your car that goes onto the ball hitch, when you put in reverse, obviously the sensors go mad, and most new cars, maybe from 2018, maybe 2017, has that automatic stop thing that if it thinks you're going to hit something. And of course, I got done 2 or 3 times because I forgot to put the parking thing off, and you go there and suddenly bang, the whole thing jerks like. And a little bit embarrassing if anybody sees that happening, of course. But yeah, just be mindful of that if you bring the bikes, and if you're going to do a greenway or anything, you're better off probably bringing your own bike. Because time before that stayed in, I think it's like the Clew Bay one. Room was very small, clean and tidy, but very small. And the telly was like, you know, if you're in like maybe A&E or doctor surgery, and that little square TV off up in the corner on a bracket, that's what it was. It wasn't the best. But once again, that's only minor things. As I said, once the bed is clean and tidy, like I don't think I've been anywhere where like the room was dirty and you're thinking, no, I want to change room, or I don't like it here. It's never been that bad. Most of it's kind of a taste thing. As I said, once it's clean and tidy, and you know the staff is nice, I mean that's really all you're looking for in these places. And I'd never cut anybody down or any hotel down for not having specific things for breakfast, even if they don't have pancakes. As I said, I do like the buffet, going up and getting what you want. It's not like that at the moment, but people are, our hotels are managing with that, and the service is still good. It probably costs more probably on employees though to have all the ones standing and serving the breakfast. Where did we get? Oh, Ballygarry House got they were lemon flavoured pancakes. Now, I thought they just put lemon on them, but I think the lemon was in them. And I don't really like lemon on pancakes, so although they had pancakes, the lemon, they're still edible, of course, but just a little thing on that. But if you're down, the Armada. So if you go to the Armada, their lunchroom looks out over the water, and they have this Guinness brown bread. Don't know if they still have it or not, and that was class. Of course, we were lucky we got a window seat to look out, and that obviously helps. Inchydoney is something similar. You have a view out, and you go up the stairs, if memory serves me correctly. Do you know, when you go to a lot of hotels on holidays and things like that, at times they kind of blend into each other. So I'm not sure which one was which, but I'm pretty sure the Armada is the one with the full view out, and then Inchydoney is upstairs as well, but because the Armada is closer to, not the ledge, but out the back, it has a bit of grass, and then it's the water, where Inchydoney is kind of angled, and it's got a car park, so maybe the view just isn't as in front of you. But two nice hotels as well, and in fairness, Inchydoney is on the beach as well. You just walk down through the car park, where the Armada isn't technically on the beach, it's beside the beach because it's up a little bit. But we sat out. They have chairs out the back on the grass, and we sat out there. And of course, it was in the summer, so it was warm, and it was just nice to sit out there, and you're beside the water and things like that. But nice room there as well. That would be a place I'd like to go back to, because we only spent one night there. I'd like to go back to the Armada Hotel. Yeah, that'd be one place now I'd like to go back to. Then, staying in Powers Court too. I think they have a pub. Oh, what's it called? You know the way most hotels have the really fancy restaurant, which we never go to, because if the word pate is on the menu, Sarah refuses to go there because you can't put red sauce on pate. Well, you could, but probably be frowned upon. So I suppose if the description of the food has longer than a couple of words, or it has 2 sentences, it's probably a little bit fancy. And then you have your mid-range restaurant and stuff like that, and then they also seem to have a bar version. So in Powers Court, I want to call it the Darby O'Gill's Bar, but I know it's not that, but something similar Irishy name and things like that. So it had a really nice burger, and like it's your stereotypical Irish bars. If you were in the middle of maybe New York and you were in this bar, you would think like it was just an Irish bar in New York. It's done up like that. But actually, speaking of Irish bars in New York, so whatever it is, you go away from home, you kind of have to go to an Irish bar, and most of the time you go to the Irish bar in order to complain that it's not Irish enough. But we were in a place called Hurley's in New York. Once again, don't know what street it was on. It wasn't that far away from the hotel though. And so I ordered like a turkey burger. My God, that like the portion sizes in New York is just ridiculous. So this dinner came out, and it had a bundy, a turkey, what do you call it? Turkey burger, turkey pat, whatever it is, and 2 bits of bacon. And then a mirror image of that is the top of the bundy, the burger, and 2 slices of bacon. And like the burger's so big that it has to be like, it's like halved. So you basically have 2 burgers. You're just thinking, what? And the rake of chips that was on it, oh my God, fantastic value for money. But we nearly had to cancel like the rest of the evening because I was like, I'm not leaving here until I finish this. I did finish it, of course, but it just took me a little bit while because it was I basically had 2 burgers. Now, if you half a burger, or you eat a burger with a knife and fork, I have slight issues with that. So I usually just get the burger and squish it together and eat it as a burger because it's a burger. That's the way you're meant to eat it. Now, maybe other people have different opinion on that. And if I haven't mentioned it already throughout this waffle hour, feel free to get in touch, of course, and you can disagree with me if you want. But I think you have to pick the burger up together and eat it. And one of the key things, I'll just go on a little bit off topic, but one of the key things for a burger, and we'll talk about pizza in a minute, but key thing for a burger is that everything stays in. So like your bundy needs to be good enough that it doesn't get soggy, because a soggy bundy, things are going to fall out, and I don't want to be trying to catch half the contents of my burger and like eat it separately. If I want to think separately, you would have got like a chicken dinner, and you'd have your chicken and your spuds and whatever. But when you order a burger and there's like turkey or beef or whatever, and bacon and cheese and whatever else dressing you have on it, chopped up red onions. I don't like full round like white onion on it, but I do like the red onions chopped up. But whatever toppings is on it, you want all that to like stay in the bundy. So I think that the bundy, how good the bundy is key. Whether it stays together, you can't have a soggy bundy. Soggy bundies, no soggy bundies, because that just wrecks the whole burger experience. Actually, a little bit closer to home, if anybody listens to this that works in Francini's, you've had a lamb burger on a special about 2 years ago, I'd say it is now, and it had like this kind of pinkish bundy. That burger was fantastic. I do not know why you do not have that lamb burger on your menu now, because I'd be going in to get it. And I look every Friday waiting for this burger to come back on special, and it has not arrived. And it must be 2 years ago. I think it was pre-pandemic, so it must be 2 years ago. Because I don't think I've been to Francini's. Oh, I have, and I sat at the front beside the window. When was that? I don't know. But the burger time was before that, so it's a while ago. And I keep waiting for it to come back. And every Friday I check the Facebook to see what the specials are, and that burger's not on it. So if anybody is listening to this who works in Francini's, get the lamb burger back on it. If I could, if it was worth it, worth the time, to get a protest and get some signatures up on it, fair enough. But that was really good. But anyway, that's neither hotels or anything. But yeah. So that burger in New York, and same with the pizza, right? So if you get a pizza and you lift up your slice of pizza, and all the toppings fall off it, that is pointless. That will mark you down through it. I will not go back to a place that has a pizza that the toppings fall off when you pick it up. Now, I don't know whether, does this make it like a quintessential like Italian pizza? Is that the way it's meant to be? Are toppings meant to fall off? I don't know. But it is a pain in the hole. If I order a pizza with toppings, the toppings have to stay on the pizza. And whatever about the toppings, if the cheese all slides off, that is like the base of my pizza, is the cheese. I don't want to be just eating bread with tomato sauce, because that's not a pizza, that's just bread with tomato sauce. So all the toppings have to stay on. Speaking of good pizzas, Tribe in Duleek. Oh, they do this like duck pizza. I'm not sure if it's stone baked pizza or not. Not sure if it is, but it is probably one of the best pizzas that I have, and I think I like it because it's different. Where else do you get duck on a pizza? You know, so I do like that one. But that's more tangents. But as I said, it's called the Waffle Hour for a reason, so you can waffle on really for whatever you want. Now where else have I been? So Photo Island. Now, Photo Island would be, I'd say, second in the spread, the breakfast spread. So, from places I've been now, so Druids Glen and then Photo. I think they are definitely the two best breakfasts I've had. I'd say in Photo, now, once again, it might have changed. So this was like, I want to say 2018, I don't think it was 2019. Could be 2018. Maybe it was 2019. Yeah, so the spread, so many pastries and full-size pastries. Although I am quite partial to mini pastries, like mini pan au chocolats, mini croissants, like what do you call them? Like apple pouches with the decoration on top. I like them. Mini Danishes, of course. Like, I think some hotels think we'll give like full-size things because they think that's better value for money. But I really like the mini things. The more mini things, the better. Pastries. Obviously, when it comes to brown bread, I want full-size brown bread. And brown bread's important. And I tend not to get toast because toast is toast. You have toast at home. Now I know you can still have brown bread at home, but you like to see I think there's a bigger difference in kind of brown bread. And when I say brown bread, I mean what do you call it? Is it soda bread or in the loaf? Not like brown sliced bread. So I kind of tend not to get toast because there's a little bit of a waste because I don't eat it. But yeah, that Guinness brown bread, I'm pretty sure that was in the Armada. That was nice. Where was I going with that? Oh yeah, so you just get your breads and mini pastries. But yeah, Ford had a great selection of pastries. Yeah. Now then where else? I'm trying to think. Oh, actually, we went to God, what's the name of it? Can't remember now. Is actually Fate Lake. You know what actually let Fate Lake down was actually their bathroom. Their bathroom was fairly standard, actually, and we actually had come from the Heritage, and then we went to Fate Lake. You know what? The Heritage was actually better value for money, to be honest, for the room you got, and yeah, the balcony as well, actually. But yeah, Fate Lake really the room itself was really nice, but I think that just the bathroom let it down a little bit. Pretty sure that was Fate Lake. The bathroom was kind of standard, and then we went to the Lake Hotel in Killarney, and you end up having like a jacuzzi bath. And actually, do you know what's in the Lake Hotel? There's actually like a retractable washing line on over the bath. Like, I was just like, I've never seen that in any hotel. And I had like a little in the Lake Hotel was like this little light down the skirting board. It was like kind of like a night light, which I thought was a really good idea for people maybe that because obviously if maybe if you had kids or you have some night blindness and you get up in the middle of the night and you can't remember where you are maybe and you can't find the light switch, you have the light that's just on down there that's lighting up the floor on the way to the bathroom, which I thought was a really good idea. Yeah, I think Ferry Carrig, that is a nice hotel now as well. They had this like buffalo burger. I know, I'm talking about food again, but they had this buffalo burger down in Ferry Carrig in the restaurant. Now that was really nice. The room was really nice, and you had like a little patio thing to sit out on. You had that in Shinani as well. The only thing, we got that room like that was in the corner of, say, the face that, so it's kind of like, I suppose, like an L shape, was it? Or like open. Yeah, so like you had the front of it, and we got the room like right beside near the door. So when you sat out on the chairs, you were beside the front door, which I didn't think really was ideal. Like, but yeah, the Lake Hotel in Killarney, that had a balcony, but it had chairs. When we were in the Heritage, we had a balcony, but we had no chairs. So you had to bring your own chair out. Not sure if you're meant to do that or not, but like, why have a balcony if you have no chairs on it? Now, maybe it was a thing that you're more than welcome to take your chairs from inside and bring them outside, but that's what I done, and we had like a real nice view of that balcony. That was also a bit of a sweet. I think like I'm after getting used to the sweet life. I don't think you can go back to a normal room after that, after having some sweets, because I think the one in the Lake Hotel was a suite as well. It was quite big. It had like a double bed and a single bed. And I'm not sure whether that was an option when I booked it or not. Um, or why that other bed was there. But it had like a couch as well. I had to do a bit of rearranging in the house because the TV was like over to one side. It wasn't in front of the telly because you had the couches in order to sit to watch, but I wanted to do in bed. So I had a bit of furniture rearranged to do there, as is in the Heritage. I had to rearrange to bring the chair out onto the balcony. But yeah, I'm pretty sure Faith Leg was the one. Fantastic hotel once again, and like I said, the room was really nice. Actually, when we were in Kennedy, we had like a boat bed. So Mike Murphy. So I don't know any CrossFit people out there. You do the Murph. What is it? It's a 1 mile run. Is it 100 press ups? No, 100 pull ups, 200 press ups, and 300 squats, I think, and then a mile run. But you do that challenge as a Memorial Day around as May. Is it maybe a little bit earlier than that? But anyway, Kennedy have a room called the Mike Murphy room, and it has a boat bed. It has a boat bed. So like it's like what do you call the front of a boat? The stern? Is it? No. So it's like that. It's a bitch to climb into though, and but yeah, that was good. TV very far away from the bed too. But it had like one of these standalone baths so like the bathroom was off the room in like is it a turret or the round bit does it be in the castle, and the bathroom was in there and it was like a standalone bath. I very rarely regret not having a bath, but I regret not having a bath in that bath because I think that bath was really cool. Yeah, so that was nice in there, and then we were in White's Hotel in the middle of Wexford town, and the bed's very low, right? But not only is the bed very low, the mattress isn't the same size as the bed frame. And what height is the frame of the bed? Exactly mid shin. And the amount of times I hit my shin, I was only there for 2 days, and the amount of times I hit the shin, and you know the way, because the front of your leg, the shin, right, it doesn't really have that much padding on it. So like when you get hit right on like the crest of like the tibia, I think, that runs down the front, because the fibia is the bone behind. Man, that shit is sore. You don't want that on holidays. That is negative crack when you're on holidays. Is hitting that. Yeah, I don't know. It was once again, like, that's only a minor thing, of course. And after the first time, you think I would have learned, but it actually happened too many times that I want to admit. But yeah, but decent hotel there in the middle of Wexford. Yeah. Food in the we had food in the bar. That was really nice. Breakfast was nice. I think, if you can't remember specifics about the breakfast was probably average. Well, not like I say average, I mean average in selection. So don't get me wrong saying like it's average, not average taste. And like basically every hotel has been to, the food has been like, good standard, like nothing to say like, oh, that's horrible or whatever. And so when I talk about breakfast being average, I mean like the selection, not the food. Because like you can't go wrong with cornflakes, and you can't go wrong, or like, a fry or pancakes, unless of course you put lemon in the pancakes. So although I'm critiquing hotels, like all of them have been, grand hotels to stay in and all that. And although I call the breakfast or whatever like average, I just mean like the selection, because it's all about the selection. I know it's probably maybe a money thing, and obviously you want to have a waste in money and you want to keep the thing down, but yeah, I like options, different things from at home, and quirky things. I thought that bringing it down, like, afternoon tea, I hadn't seen that before. That was cool. That was in the Heritage of someone else as well, though. Maybe Fate Leg. I think Fate Leg was the same when we were there. Once again, I'm not sure whether this is a COVID thing or whether they always done it like that. So I don't know, because I was never there before, pre-COVID. Like, Fate Leg was one of those cursed places. So like We must have postponed that trip to Fate like, oh God, six times maybe. Because like we were meant to go last year and we postponed it, and then it went to like October, had to postpone it again, and then so on and so forth. But we eventually got there this year. Um, yeah. So I think that's kind of. I don't know whether you've got any real sense of you wanted to go to these places or not. But Kenny stayed in Lyrac quite recently. Lovely grounds to walk. It's got such a nice walk around. Now that's of course if you're into walking when you're in the hotel. I think the Lyrat is like when you go in, it's got quite an open space with like loads of seats, and I think it's got like a coffee dock and things like that. So if you're there and you're like chilling out or want to hang around the hotel, it's kind of a hotel that you can do that without actually being like in the pub part of it, if you get me. Like, so some hotels you go to, you mightn't be really able to like just kind of hang around and chill there for a couple of hours or whatever. Because I understand everybody's different. Not everybody maybe wants to lie on the bed or whatever. They get up and they go sitting down. But well, I said like, one of the things, right? So always 9 o'clock is when I go for breakfast. Alarm is set 8:30. So I don't really lie in on holidays. But what I do like doing is what you can't do at home, which I think holidays, that's what holidays is all about, is when you're in a hotel, you go down, you have your breakfast, and you go back up like maybe around 10 o'clock, and like you lie back down in bed and maybe have another half an hour to sleep. It's like bonus sleep. So I mean, you can't do that at home. So that's another thing I like doing on holidays. Eating breakfast things that you don't necessarily get to eat when you're at home, and watching TV in bed, and then being able to go back to bed after your breakfast. Now you might think from the sound of this that I constantly am in the hotel room. I'm not. I actually love going out, and like depending on where you are, you'd head off around 11 maybe. I suppose it depends what you have to do. If you've got an itinerary, which most times we do, you have stuff to go see and things like that. And like people complain about Ireland, right? About it's dear or whatever. Well, I don't know. I suppose there's deals to be had and places you can go at different levels. You don't always have to go for the suite. But I've been travelling around Ireland, whether it's been with my mum and dad when I was small, or since I started driving myself and going on holidays. And even now, after all this time, which is now 17 years probably going around Ireland since I started driving, I've still seen new things that I haven't seen before, and places that like Ireland's not that big, and I go around Ireland at least 2 or 3 times a year. I go for either a weekend away or a few days down the country or whatever, and I still haven't seen everything that Ireland has to offer. So look, it's a good spot. And the last story I'll tell you before we sign off, because we're actually going to make the hour, I think, is always check your bookings. Okay, so 2 instances happen. Went to Pod Tumna, so it's the glamping place down in Port Tumna. Arrived a day early. I booked it for the Monday night and turned up on Sunday. The girl there, lovely girl at desk. Luckily, they had a free pod available on Sunday night, and she sorted us out. Apologies for any inconvenience we caused her, but fair play to her. And she was quite nice about it as well, and realised the mistake that I had made before I realised I had made the mistake. The other thing is, make sure you go to the correct hotel. So, funny story about going to Galway as well. I had booked the Connemara. Oh, even now I'm going to get the thing wrong. Went to the Connemara Sands. Booked that. Connemara Sands is in like the far side of Clifton. Now, if you're looking for a nice hotel that's like secluded and you want to get away from everything, Connemara Sands is the place to go. Really nice little hotel. But I thought I had booked the Connemara Coast Hotel, which is it just past Salt Hill? It's on go through Salt Hill, heading for, Spiddle. It's on that Spiddle Road. Is it between Salt Hill and Spiddle? Or is it the far side Spiddle? I'm not sure. But that's where I thought I had booked. So I, coming up, and I said to Sarah, like, jokingly, check to make sure we're going to the right place. And she's like, oh yeah, it's the Connemara Coast Hotel, or Connemara Sands Hotel. Just as we're passing a sign saying Connemara Coast Hotel on the left. So, that's the Connemara Coast. Where's the Connemara Sands? Google it. It was another 19 minutes drive from where we were at the Connemara Coast Hotel. Funny enough, though, the following year we did go back to the Connemara Coast Hotel. Also really nice rooms and a really nice TV. Nice bar as well, nice bar food in there, and a good breakfast. Now that would be wrapping up for today. John has missed the first run of the new mics, so if this sounds different, different bad, let us know. If it sounds different good, well, that's all good, because obviously people are listening to this not always in the car, but obviously in headphones and stuff. So we upgraded the mic, so we had one mic between us last week, because that's the mic I just kind of had. So that's why sometimes it felt like maybe we were a bit distancy, a bit echoey. So we now have two nice boom mics. No, not today FM quality or anything like that, but they seem to be working fine. So hopefully this will upgrade the sound quality on the podcast. And John should be back with us next week. I hope you like my my waffling on about different hotels I've been in. Maybe you'll have things then that you'd like to look out for. If you have any funny stories from hotels, you can drop us an old email or message on anywhere you see that I've posted this episode. Feel free to comment underneath and tell us a few stories and things like that. You can always email thejbwafflehour@gmail.com and check us out on Instagram. Now, it's a fairly new Instagram page. We don't have that many followers yet, but hopefully we might have updates if the podcast grows. We get a nice little community, nice little following. It'd be nice to post things up on Instagram, keep everybody in the loop of what's going on. So on Instagram, it'll be the JB Waffle Hour podcast on Instagram. So go along there. So this has been episode 3. And next week will be episode 4, and hopefully we'll be back as a twosome, because it's very hard to talk for the full hour on your own. And I do enjoy talking. John, as we said, we've been best mates for a long time, so it's always nice to meet up, and this gives us a reason to meet up maybe more regularly instead of months on end cancelling plans and changing things. But as I said, he's a busy man with his job. We might even do a podcast on jobs we have now, and maybe funny old jobs or jobs we've done in the past. But for now, take it easy, and we will chat to you in episode 4. And don't forget, you've been listening to the John Bernard Waffle Hour on Waffle Wednesdays. Episode 4 to come next week.